Alright, I'm going to show you how to draw poinsettias real quick, and we're going to turn this little practice on how to draw poinsettias into a little piece of art that's a little bit abstract, but not completely because, well, you know you're drawing poinsettias. And we're going to start by drawing a circle, and then drawing 5 or 6 more circles around it. All of the circles are the same size. This one is touching that one a little bit, that's fine. Once I do that, I draw my leaves. Poinsettias don't actually have flower petals, they are just leaves. And I'm going to use a teardrop shape to create that leaf that we all are so familiar with poinsettias. I don't draw them all the exact same size because this is something that we find in nature. It's not a man-made shape. It is a plant. It grows on its own, and not every single leaf on a poinsettia is the exact same size. Now, once I have my first 5 leaves drawn, again, I used a teardrop shape. You can see it here pretty well, as well as here. They're not perfect teardrops by any means. They're not even exactly the same. And again, I do that on purpose. So I actually draw some of them upside down because I want them to be a little bit distorted because I want them to look more natural. All right? Okay, so that is my second row of leaves. They are slightly under my first row. Remember, when you're drawing the second row, don't draw a line through. Stop, hop over that shape, and then continue your line. Again, here I'm doing 1/3 row, and I kind of am drawing it in between my second row of poinsettia leaves. Also, I am using crayons for this, mainly because I like using crayons to practice drawing things, and it's going to look really awesome when I finish doing what I'm going to do with these crayons. So I have a green poinsettia. I'm going to switch to a different color, and I'm going to start over again, and I'm going to draw another poinsettia. I'm doing blue this time. Remember, for a lot of you, this is your first time drawing these poinsettias, so don't expect your flowers to be perfect, and I don't want you to expect them to be perfect. I also don't want you to get upset if your flowers don't look like mine. I've been drawing these for a while. I teach this lesson to every 4th grade class. So I draw the poinsettias at least once a day, sometimes more. And with this particular part of the project, I draw tons of them. Alright, so this one is actually a little bit bigger than my green one, but do you see? Now here I am overlapping because I'm drawing a second poinsettia in a completely different color, and it's okay if I draw over top of what I've drawn in the green. This is where the abstract part of this project is going to come in. All right, it's going to look really wild when we finish and have all these different layers of poinsettia upon poinsettia upon poinsettia. It's going to be really cool. Let's see. I'm going to get it red, get a warm color in here now. Right here. And this one is even bigger than the first 2 that I drew. I do want you to do that. I want you to try to draw them different sizes. It's really important because when we get to our final project where we start using our oil pastels and blending our colors together, we're going to be drawing our poinsettia very large so that we have one poinsettia that fills the whole paper. So definitely practice each time you change a color, change the size that you are drawing too. So if you started off small, each poinsettia should get bigger with each drawing attempt that you make. All right? Also, the bigger you draw them, the quicker you fill in this paper, and the less poinsettias you have to do. All right? And work smarter, not harder. So even though you might think I'm trying to torture you by making you draw them large, I'm not. I'm trying to help you out. Alright, so I'm going to do one more between those here. Alright, that one. Alright, it's starting to look really cool, guys. Let me pick it up a little bit and see if you can see it. It's starting to look, I'll pick up my camera in a minute so you can see it. I'm going to add an orange to it right over here. And this one I'm going to make a little bit smaller. Orange and blue are complementary colors, so in some of these spots where my orange is going over top of my blue, it's probably going to look a little bit brown or gray. Because when the two get mixed together, they neutralize each other out, or they cancel each other out. And that is definitely something that we're going to talk about once we start coloring in our poinsettia leaves, because orange and blue are both colors that we're going to be using today. So if we mix them where we are not supposed to mix them, our poinsettia is going to look dirty, or it's going to look like it's dying. And we want to draw beautiful, vibrant, healthy poinsettias, not poinsettias that have been neglected and left to their own devices because the holidays are over. Alright, one more right there. Okay, so this is filling in pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and stop here because I have a couple more things that I want to show you. And because I don't want to have a million copies of this, I'm going to go ahead and use the back side of this paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold my paper in half. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. You will not be doing this. You would actually get a different piece of paper, a scrap piece of paper, or your sketchbook. And you could very simply just draw a line to split your paper into 4. This first section, you're going to basically practice what you were doing here again. So we'll put a few in there. We'll start off light first. And I'm just going to draw these real fast. Just so you can see how this page is going to look and get set up. I'm not going to draw over into this section. That's why I drew it, folded it. So I have 4 different sections. I'm going to use each of them for different things. This one is just my warm-up practice to get me back into poinsettia drawing mode again. Because in the classroom, you will be doing these on 2 different days. Alright, let me get a blue in there. Oh no, that's black. Oh, we'll use black. It's no big deal. Unexpected little surprise there. It'll make it look that much more interesting. Now, when I get to that fold, I just stop. I don't try to complete drawing that leaf. I just let it go off the page. And that is definitely something that you will need to do because we are going to be drawing these poinsettias very large. So part of the poinsettia is going to be drawn off the page, okay? Let's see. How about a yellow? Yellow is going to be really hard to see. It's already pretty hard to see, but it'll brighten this picture up a lot, so put it in there anyway. Okay, now do a little bit of red. So we are using all warm colors on this section today. why not? We're going to be using those again anyway in the next section, so might as well use them now. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. We're going to leave that section on. We're going to come right over here. I'm actually going to do it in this section because that's closest to the camera, so it'll be easiest for you to see. And I'm going to use orange. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my poinsettia. You need to also use orange. You can use orange, yellow, or red. Orange is the medium. I'm using that because when I start coloring in, orange is going to mix in and blend a little bit better at this end where I'm going to be using my lighter colors than the red will. Alright? Do not use blue, green, or purple to draw this poinsettia. This poinsettia needs to be drawn using one of your warm colors. Again, your warm colors are yellow, orange, and red. Okay, almost done here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to color in our poinsettia flames, and we're going to use 4 colors. We are going to be using yellow, orange, red, and blue. Okay, and I'll move those over a little bit so you can see them. Yellow, orange, red, and blue. Okay, and the way we do this, the way I do this, is I start at the center of my flower. Now I'm using red here because red is our darkest of our warm colors, and our shadows are going to be here near the center of our flower because that's at the center, so there's going to be more shadows there because less light can get into that center. There's a lot more going on. We have the center, these little stamens at the center that also keep the leaves there shaded as well. I will show you how to shade those in a little bit later with oil pastels. But I'm going ahead and I'm going to go around to these leaves in my inner circle here. And I'm just coloring the inside of the leaf, the widest part of the leaf, with red. Not going all the way to the end, just this half. Then I'm going to take my yellow, and I'm going to do yellow at the outside tip because those are farther away from the center of the flower. They are going to be receiving the most light, therefore they are the lightest. And I'm coloring, and I'm leaving a good amount of space here in the center between yellow and red. That is where I'm going to put my next color. So go ahead and leave a little bit of space. Alright, and now my next color is orange. And what I do with the orange is I start at the yellow, and I color right over top of the yellow with the orange, and I go into this middle area where there is no color, and I just a itty bitty bit into the red. I don't want to go too far into the red because I'm going to be putting some blue here, and I don't want to mix my orange and my blue together because if you remember they are complementary colors. They will cancel each other out, and we'll end up with a brownish looking leaf, and it will look a little dead, and I don't want to lose the bright brilliancy that I'm trying to create here with these colors. I go a little bit more of that in the, sorry about that guys. Got a little off the camera there. Alright, so everything, and I am turning my paper because that way I can keep coloring in the same direction. Keep in mind guys, you need to color following the length of the leaf. You do not color side to side. If you color side to side, it is going to cut that leaf in half. It's not going to look natural. And your colors aren't going to blend as well. You're going to end up having lines separating your leaves, and you're going to look like you have candy corn, not a poinsettia. And since we're working on poinsettias, we want them to look like poinsettia leaves, not candy corns.